The way I describe it is that we built our, call it hyperscale cloud, right? Is our public multi-tenant cloud service offerings that will include everything from the first, of course, productivity suite Office 365, software as a service, where you would be able to connect into Microsoft really anywhere globally, and that we would have that ability to host regions. And that, of course, extended out with Azure, with infrastructure as a service and platform as a service, so that we could accommodate really getting those services as close to our end customer as possible. So it really began with regional data centers in North America and Europe and Asia Pacific that would be able to get those solutions to our customers. Of course, as it evolved over time, we began adding regions and introducing data residency. And data residency is that ability to say, hey, we've got data center regions that are in specific countries or in various different geographies, such as the EU, right? The US, or individual countries like Canada, and that would meet a lot of the regulations and requirements that are unique to that particular jurisdiction. Was really functional in terms of looking at meeting many of the financial standards, of course, healthcare and privacy information, et cetera, that really meet the vast different. Microsoft has got the largest coverage of regulations or standards, industry standards, whether it's ISO or NIST, et cetera, that accommodate that data residency. But in order to build this worldwide cloud service offering, naturally, it's going to be connected to the Microsoft backbone, whether it's being able to connect in geographically close to your location, or to be able to have multiple different regions, even within a single tenant, what we call multi, right? Especially for those multinational organizations, that they could meet those security and compliance requirements unique to the specific country that they're working on. Now, the government community cloud offering was really introduced specifically for the Office Productivity Suite initially, and that was for Office 365 GCC. And to be clear, that's not High. This is just the original GCC offering. And GCC was purpose-built to be a U.S. person's enclave that was, it's still part of the commercial environment, but think of it as a carve-out, right? It's a separate set of servers that's managed by U.S. personnel. And it goes one step further beyond just pure data residency. And now you can be able to meet a number of the regulations, whether it's with FedRAMP, right, or protecting IRS 1075 for tax information in the U.S., or criminal justice information system like CJIS, and became really the home for most government agencies, whether it's the federal civilian agencies like NASA, or the state and local governments across the entire country, even municipalities, etc. And GCC, while initially was a O365 concept, of course, it then extended out to the whole of Microsoft 365. So we began introducing many new capabilities, whether it's looking at device protection with Intune, or document protection with information protection, out Purview, etc. And the reason why I point that out is that when we began building all these additional capabilities as part of Microsoft 365, they were all honed on top of Azure Commercial. The pairing of GCC, that government cloud, government community cloud, is with Azure Commercial, but we were lacking the market for being able to have true data sovereignty, right? And data sovereignty was required, especially for the U.S. Department of Defense, right? If you look at the DoD, they've got export controlled data, they've got all the different categories of controlled and classified information, cover defense information, et cetera. And, there was concerns about putting that into, especially the Azure Commercial environment. So working closely with the U.S. Department of Defense and other federal cabinet level agencies like the DOJ, DHS, Treasury, is whenever they agreed that we would build our first sovereign cloud. And the sovereign cloud is both physically and virtually segmented from our commercial side environment. And it was purpose built for protecting controlled and classified information, all categories, right? This includes export controlled data, no foreign, formerly FOUO, et cetera, NNPI for naval nuclear information. And that really led us to this completely separate sovereign cloud that was restricted purely to the continental United States. That includes data processing, transmission, storage. So all of our networks are just CONUS bound. They are U.S. persons all managing the environment from U.S. locations. And that really hit that higher watermark that was required. Same equal footing in terms of security that we have in the commercial side environment, right? There's we baseline, for example, on a common framework for compliance, et cetera. But it really did introduce with our sovereign cloud that ability to then onboard the U.S. Department of Defense and subsequent to that, the Defense Industrial Base.
Hey folks, hope you enjoyed that. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe and then check out this video.